Today we're talking about the pressure to make the Christmas story feel new. You've preached it for several years, and sometimes it can feel like, what else can I say? But here's the good news. The Christmas story is bottomless. There's always more under the surface. So today I want to share 5 simple ways to preach Christmas in a way that avoids the common sermon pitfalls. Way number 1, change the point of view. Have you thought about preaching the Christmas story through one person's eyes instead of everyone's? Most of us preach the wide shot, the manger, the angels, the city, the people. But when you zoom in on one person, the story becomes personal, human, emotional, and your church feels it. Let me show you how deep each point of view can go. Let's take Mary. The courage to say yes when you're scared. Mary isn't just a symbol of obedience. She's a teenager, likely 13, 16 years old, living in a village where rumors spread fast and reputations stick forever. Can you imagine the pressure, the fear, the questions she never asked but surely felt? A great angle is, what do you do when God's calling scares you? Another point of view, Joseph. Obedience versus reputation. Joseph didn't just wake up one day ready for this. He had a plan, a future. Imagine the whispers in Nazareth. Imagine the pressure on a man trying to honor God and protect Mary. This angle hits hard, choosing God when people misunderstand you. The shepherds. God comes to the overlooked. These weren't heroes. They weren't trusted. They weren't allowed in the temple. Some rabbis even said their testimony didn't count in court. But heaven says, these are my guys. They get the first invitation. Why? Because God delights in calling people the world ignores. This angle is strong when heaven calls the outsider. The Magi worship from the wrong side of the tracks. They were pagan astrologers. Everything about their background was wrong. Wrong religion, wrong practices, wrong worldview. But they were hungry, and hunger leads people to Jesus. The angle that you can use, God can draw anyone from anywhere. Another point of view, Herod. The threat of surrender. Herod understood the message better than anyone. A new king meant he wasn't king anymore. And some people struggle with Jesus not because they understand him, but because they don't want to surrender to him. The angle you can use here is when Jesus threatens your control. Friend, when you change the point of view, you don't change the story, you bring out the heart of the story. Way number 2, preach tension, not a timeline. Have you ever heard a Christmas sermon that feels flat? Maybe you preached a sermon that felt flat. It's usually because it's preached like a list. This happened, then this happened, then this happened. That's not preaching, that's narrating. Stories move people when they reveal tension. And there is a lot of tension in the Christmas story. Let me show you the tension. Fear versus faith. Fear is everywhere in the story. Mary is troubled, Joseph is conflicted, shepherds are terrified, Herod is paranoid, and yet the angel keeps saying, do not be afraid. Why? Because fear is the number 1 enemy of obedience. Here's a powerful way to preach it. Every step towards Jesus begins with a step away from fear. Another point of tension, peace versus chaos. We talk about silent night, but the world Jesus entered was anything but silent. Think about it, a government census, families forced to travel, no room anywhere, a teenage girl giving birth far from home, a violent king killing children. Have you ever noticed how often God moves in the middle of chaos? Here's an angle that you can preach from. Peace doesn't wait for calm. Peace steps into chaos. Another point of tension is light versus darkness. John doesn't say the light waits for the darkness to go away. He says it shines in the darkness. Christmas is not a fairy tale. It's a rescue mission. God entering the world at its darkest moment, because that's when we needed him most. Preaching this hits people right where they live, in anxiety, doubt, grief, addiction, fear, and sin. When you preach tension, you're not just retelling the Christmas story, you're connecting real life to it. If you've ever been feeling a little stretched with sermon prep, or you've had a few weeks where the message just felt harder than it should, I get it. We've all been there. That's actually why I offer something really simple, a free sermon help call. It's not a program, it's not a pitch, it's literally just a chance to sit down together on a Zoom call and work through your next sermon, or talk about anything that you're struggling with. So if that sounds helpful, the link's down at the bottom. Grab a time that works for you, and we'll walk through your next sermon together. Way number 3, connect Christmas to real pain. Do we sometimes preach Christmas like it's a Hallmark movie? Smiling people, perfect moments, sweet memories, cute manger scenes. But the first Christmas wasn't cute. It was gritty, hard, lonely, messy, dangerous. And many people in your church feel that right now. Some people walk in smiling on the outside, but hurting on the inside. So what if you named that? What if you said it's okay to not be okay at Christmas? Let me remind you what the first Christmas held: shame, fear, exhaustion, travel stress, poverty, political pressure, murderous king, family forced to run for their lives. When your people come in, they carry fresh grief, broken relationships, financial pressure, depression, anxiety, loneliness, disappointment. Here's the good news you get to preach. Jesus enters the mess, not the cleaned up version of our life. Friend, this point alone can set people free. Way number 4, use one unexpected insight. What makes people lean forward when they think they already know the story? A single surprising insight. Not 10, not a complex word study, just one moment that makes them say, wait, what? Here are a few that can carry entire sermons. The word Bethlehem means house of bread. So Jesus, the bread of life, was born in the house of bread, laid in a feeding trough. God is preaching a sermon through the setting. Shepherds were ceremonially unclean. They weren't respected, not trusted, not allowed in the temple. But heaven invites them first. Why? Because grace always moves toward the people we overlook. The inn was a guest room. This wasn't a hotel denying a pregnant girl. It was a crowded family home doing the best that it could, meaning Jesus doesn't need perfect settings. He shows up in imperfect spaces, like our hearts. Silent Night wasn't silent. It wasn't peaceful. It was loud, crowded, messy, and God stepped right in. Friend, one simple insight can refresh the whole sermon without stretching the text. Way number 5, anchor the sermon in one big idea. Let me ask you the most important question of this video. What is one sentence you want your people to remember? Because if you don't choose that sentence, they choose one for you, and it might not be what you intended. You can use a simple formula. Christmas is a story of blank entering blank. So for instance, you can say Christmas is a story of hope entering despair. Christmas is a story of light entering darkness. Christmas is a story of God entering our mess. Christmas is a story of peace entering chaos. Christmas is a story of love entering loneliness. Once you pick your one big idea, every scripture goes there, Every story goes there. Every application goes there. That's how you make the message stick. The story is still alive, still deep, still powerful, still changing people today.